guys. I'm Green Apple.
I'm Blueberry. Where are the humans, Green Apple?
I don't know. Maybe that's
Since we're alone, let's start a party.
Yeah, I was invite all of our friends. We can party out.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, my phone.
Let's invite all.
And Tanny, we're gonna pretend they're most like.
Let's invite all our friends. This is gonna be so fun.
Yeah.
All right, let's go invite them.
Hello.
Great job, bud.
Great job.
There they
Wow.
are.
Green apple and
Well, all
blueberry.
Welcome, everyone, to episode 25 of Live from the Lab. And tonight I'm here with my family, or actually my families. This is Ben and Lucy and Mandy, and also my Live from the Lab family here. JT, Chris, Patrick, Andrew, Jeff, Nick, and Wega aren't here, our other family members. And as of last December, I also became a parakeet dad, very unexpectedly, as we found these guys lost on the side of the road in the winter, which was pretty surprising. And tonight, though, and I've been trying my best. I was not expecting to be a parakeet father. And I've been doing my best, and I think I've been doing good, but I want to be the best I can be, and that's what tonight's about. That's why tonight's Father's Day special is learning about how to be the best possible parakeet dad. We're going to talk a bit about, how we found these guys, what life like a parakeet is, their wild origins, how they are parrots. They are little tiny parrots. They're incredibly smart, social, and humans have been breeding them and ultimately changing their behaviors in a lot of ways for 150 years. So
Wow.
These guys are pretty different from their wild ancestors. We're going to talk about what their care requirement standards are and ultimately how we're going to make these guys part of our flock, or we're going to become part of theirs.
Yep.
So let's dive into it.
I'm so excited.
Yeah, but before we do that, should we cue up a video that shows how we first met these guys?
Let's do it.
Yeah.
So many parakeets, 2 of them.
We're gonna post that we found them and we'll find out who their parents are. All right, guys, what's in the box? Nice.
Thanks, Wildlife Center.
What are we doing?
She loves it. She loves it. She loves it so much.
Oh my.
I love them so much. It feels so good.
There's another. Look at this. So sweet. So many parakeets, 2 of them.
We're gonna post that we found them and we'll find out who their parents are. All right, guys, what's in the box? Nice.
We're on, yeah.
All right. Oh my gosh, I love that video
Me
every
too.
time I see it. So December 30th, we were driving to Wompatuck State Park,
Yep.
and you locked up the brakes because Green Apple, who is blending in with the green screen,
Yeah, you can't even see Blueberry.
and Blueberry flew
Yeah.
in front of your truck.
We were driving, it was December 30th winter, just near State Park, and I was like, I saw like this bright blur in the corner of my eye, like right next to the road that kind of jumped out of the road, and I locked up my brakes. I was like, I think I just saw like a parakeet. And we got out, I wasn't sure how many there were. Oh, I think Blueberry. Oh man, you guys, can we flip off the green screen maybe for a moment?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, but
For
we
the
might
moment.
get in trouble.
Yeah,
So Blueberry.
now you know, guys.
Blueberry doesn't usually favor mom. Well,
Oh.
but she might just be over here to bully her bestie Green Apple here. She usually prefers big time to sit with Nat. So I feel very honored, even if she did just come over here to bully Green Apple.
I think it's just because I'm the tallest in my family.
No, you put a lot of work
I
in
have
there.
put
She
I
loves
put
you.
my time in. I've put my time in.
Yes. And so I'm so excited because we were able to capture them. I had done a little bit of work at the New England Wildlife Center where JT has done a lot of work, and know that one of the best ways to catch a loose bird is with a towel or something like that. I didn't have that, so I quickly pulled my sweatshirt off and scooped these 2 guys up. So that was awesome, and we've had them ever since. We of course posted them on all the forums for lost birds. We called the animal shelter that was local to the area. We knocked on the doors of all the neighbors of where we found them, left a message with the police. Nobody claimed these two beauties, so I think they might have been an unwanted Christmas present that kind of got released. She just pulled my hair.
Yeah.
And we think are a pair. Green apple is a male, blueberry is a female. Any bird catching tips from your history as a wildlife rehabber that you want to share?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, so you did an amazing catch. Like, these guys are not easy to catch if they're outside.
JT,
And,
thank you.
and it's tough to get it to like land on top of them without them getting away from it.
Yes,
first.
yes,
But
yes.
they don't really understand that whatever it is that's coming at them isn't like a solid thing that they can't get
Oh,
through or on.
Yes, great
So
point.
If they're like cornered, you can just like Star Wars, the walls are closing, and they have no idea that they can't get away, that they could get away from it or through it.
Oh, really? So if you go slow, if they're in a corner somewhere, they'll
Yeah.
kind of just wait versus move fast.
Yeah, so the towels moving in on them, they don't realize that they could just run straight through that because they think it's just solid.
Yeah, it might as well be a wall. Okay, that makes sense. I like that.
Turning the lights off, they can't see very well in the dark. So if you have them in your house and you're trying to get a bird to catch to get out, or if you're trying to catch your birds to put them back in their pen, use the towel trick still, but suddenly turn off the lights and you'll know where they are because you can remember, but they will be like frozen because they can't see all of a sudden.
Oh, great bird catching tip. I love that.
That really is.
That's because that is one of our fears is that they would get loose. So that's really good.
So usually I just sit and let, Mandy catch or wrangle whatever animal it is that we're stumbling upon. And I did hold it. I think you passed green apple to me or blueberry, and
Yep.
I did just allow it to bite me.
Yep. And I was like, do not let it go no matter how hard it bites you.
I remember being
freezing
really,
out.
they're
They didn't have
tiny.
much time.
But it was like, wow, that they were smaller even then and
Yeah.
packed one heck of a bite for a little guy.
Yeah.
It let me, I know big parrots can be so dangerous, but
Yeah, so they have to like crack, well, I guess we're gonna learn about their diet, but they crack seeds and stuff, so they have to have like strong little beaks that are sharp. That hurts.
yeah.
But not letting them know that it's getting you is definitely the best, because some
you
birds,
show fear and
Yeah, if they realize it hurts and that it's gonna work to like
right.
get you away from them, they're gonna keep doing it. But if you don't let them know that it hurt you at all,
Right.
they're gonna say, well, that didn't work, so I'm gonna
This
try
is
something
me the
different.
other night.
You should have seen the showdown Mandy and Blueberry had.
And some birds,
I was like, this is
And by
Blueberry.
showdown,
I was like, neither one of these two is gonna back down.
by showdown, I just left my hand there. She's pretty good, but sometimes she
was mad.
Yeah, she just doesn't want. I was trying to take her out of her cage for some enrichment. Literally just walking around with her, and I just kept my hand near her, and she just bit me over and over and over again, and I just didn't move my hand. And then finally, she just was like,
She was mad the
"Fine."
next day still.
Yeah, no, and
That's
they're
it.
so
They are
smart.
so smart. They're so like I love my chickens, and chickens are very smart in their own way in a lot of ways, and but like like when we introduced them to our barn, it took them like a week to figure out where the front door was.
Yeah.
These guys, when we brought them home, it was like within an hour they're like, this is the door in my cage, this is how I get in and out, this is my safe place.
Yeah.
Like they knew how to get there, they knew their way around, they know who's who. And I mean chickens do too, but these guys definitely have like a certain cognitive capacity.
yeah, well, do you know that the bird with the world record for the
Yay.
largest vocabulary is a budgie?
Wait,
What?
what? Say this again?
The world record for a bird with the largest vocabulary is a budgie.
Is it
I
Disco?
did not know that.
It is Sparky.
Oh, okay, because Disco,
That's a huge
who I
fact.
think we have a video of, he has his own YouTube channel, and he has 130 intricate phrases that are also hilarious.
Yeah.
Do you guys want me to put like a little backdrop here behind, or is this backdrop fine?
I think
Cool, good to
it
go.
looks
Yeah.
good to me as long as it
Stick
looks
with
good
Cool.
to everybody
I
else.
like it. Yeah, I think it looks
I think
great.
you can see them really well.
We like green.
We like green, and we like green apple.
Yeah,
for
actually,
this
it's
shoot.
pretty with the orange.
Yeah, we're doing it. So should we jump into kind of the key things we
Yeah.
wanted to walk through? So I think the ultimate thing that we want to do by the end is to, go ahead.
I want to so
Oh, yeah.
every time it's my birthday or Father's Day,
Oh, yeah.
I basically ask for like 100,000 things, like everything. I'll be like, you know what I really want for this year for my birthday is like more Gatorade in the fridge. And so today, what I asked was, I want you to teach me everything I need to know about budgies for Father's Day this year.
Yes, yes, which is a wonderful endeavor.
I've asked for about 150 other things probably, but
no, that's all right. It's you don't
it's a
actually
joke.
ask
But
for
anyways,
anything hard.
so
It's
I'm really
just like-
excited. So tonight, Mandy is going to be walking us through a ton of really cool info.
Yeah, and if anyone,
do too.
chickens
Yeah,
are
Jeff.
smart. I find that question. Well, Jeff Commander, get out of here. Chickens are
Jeff.
insanely intelligent. You can teach them tricks and all sorts of stuff. You can clicker train them. They're amazing, and I love them. And
We miss you, bud.
we know you're here in spirit, Jeff.
How are your
So
cats?
excited.
Happy Father's Day.
Yeah, happy Father's Day, Jeff.
Oh.
Is that Jeff on a horse? Is his picture? Are you with me in that photo?
That was with us.
Yeah, okay. Are we in Costa
That was like-
Rica?
I don't know.
We're somewhere.
Mandy's
I ride
brought me
horses.
and Jeff on
I'm very
horses for many
surprised to see
times.
Jeff on a horse if it wasn't at a
Jeff
time that I
loves
had
riding.
dragged him somewhere. I know he does. He's very good at it.
He is.
Okay, so yeah, so we've got a bunch of things we want to walk through about what budgies are like in the wild, their interactions with people, all leading up to how can Matt and I be giving these budgies their best life.
the
So that's
slide.
kind of the goal. I think we can do the slide. Green apple will disappear, but blueberry will still be seen, and she's the boss anyways, so it'll be great. The first one is why he's pulling it up. It's the wild.
Should we pause for a second? Do we need...
Yeah. I know, it's probably because we don't have the green screen
The
going.
green screen's not enabled. That might be why we're not getting it. There
Oh,
we go.
wild budgies. Yep, you can see Bloop sitting on my shoulder. How much do you love that? So right out of the gate, wild budgies are all green. Different color morphs are from this last 150 years of breeding, which is super cool. Oh, no, this is Nick, and that's the day we went to the Oh,
right.
very cool. Oh, I love this.
Cool.
I love that. All right, so when you think about your budgies and how you want to keep them, okay, green apple demands to be seen. He's the one on my head. They can be in flocks of thousands.
100,000.
And some reports are like 100,000. And actually,
Yeah.
Andrew, who is manning our slides, I think the next slide is a big flock of them flying. I mean, look at these happy babies just zooming around.
cool.
So anytime you see an animal, like how often in your life have you seen a budgie exhibiting that behavior? And if you're like me, the answer is never. I've never seen a flock of budgies in flight. I've seen a very small, tiny of captive birds in a cage.
Yeah.
You know what I
Been to
mean?
Australia.
Yeah.
And I have in Australia, but apparently I didn't go to the outback. I lived in Brisbane. Did you see them where you were?
I think I saw parakeets. I remember seeing cockatoos.
Yeah, I think that, yes, yeah.
Yep. Like big ones. The pink, what are the pink cockatoos? I remember it was unbelievable. Yeah. And I saw a small, I never saw a huge group of parakeets, but I thought I saw a dozen or so once.
Yeah, so the huge groups are usually spotted exactly like this photo shows during the wet season around water sources. So that's when they kind of are congregating. And actually, this is super interesting. The rainy seasons and the sprouting of grasses and seeds is actually what triggers mating in wild parakeets.
Ah, makes sense.
Which is, and it's all, it's probably a combination of the gatherings of them, but also then the abundant resources. They know they'll have enough food to raise a brood of eggs.
And to produce eggs. And
Yep. Yeah.
It's so, and the thing's interesting. You always think about, it's so funny. You can see, hi, sweetie.
You're welcome to scoop one up. I know you're
no.
dying to get near
Well,
one.
I just want to be part
Asher.
camouflage. Let's see. You want to come up with me?
I know, she loves you.
Anytime, the thing that's interesting with that, actually, do you mind putting the green screen? Because I want to, is how dry it is. Whenever
Yeah.
I think of parrots or of any sort, I'm always thinking tropical,
Yeah,
jungle.
that's a great point.
And these guys are from the outback. They like want hot and dry, which has really like kind of makes me think about what, to really be aware of in their cage, which is like never allowing like really damp. She seems a little standoffish, doesn't she? a lot of times I feel like she'll just come close to me. There's a lot going on.
Yeah, there's a lot going on.
Should
We
go off
just started
that.
breaking them in.
But
here.
yeah, it's super arid, so it made me realize like I should probably be very cautious of ever allowing moisture buildup or wet areas in the cage. Air towards dry.
And like, what's their diet like? They eat
Yeah.
a lot of seeds, and
Yep.
when you're
Yep.
going to see a lot of grass seeds,
Yeah,
is when it's a dry stalk of it that they're going to be able to eat off of.
totally.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, so there are inland regions that are arid, but unlike other animals that live in arid regions, they need to drink daily. So this is, I think I found this fascinating. They're not migratory, but they're extremely nomadic. So because they're dependent so much on water, but they live in an area where water is scarce, they'll move in these giant flocks to areas where the where the grasses, there aren't any wetlands out there, where the grasses and water has congregated and is thriving.
It's like floodplains.
Yes, so they'll fly, they're extremely mobile. They'll fly miles and miles and miles to get to their next water or food source.
Wow.
And that's why they do so well, because how many animals will travel that distance, and they can mate on the road while they're traveling rather than finding a nesting area like migratory birds do. They go to their nesting zone, mate, lay their eggs, stay there for the season, and then move on to the next place. These guys will, hey, there's food and water here. Let's settle down for a little while, make some babies, and then raise them, and then move on to the next place.
That's a really good point, because like robins will come back to the same nest every year.
Yeah.
I believe, right? Do I have that right? Whereas what you're saying is like they might never even go back to the same place for a few years,
Yeah.
depending on the
wherever
seasons.
water is. They're
Yeah.
not migrating and
That's really,
relying on the season to tell them when to mate. They're going to mate when they have the resources.
Yeah.
yeah. And the other thing about that,
So it's okay.
no, go ahead. No,
That's great. I
Yeah,
wanna-
this is a learning.
Yeah.
This is a learning.
We're learning.
We're learning.
I'm like, my head's spinning. I'm like, okay, so we're talking about like how to treat them, right? Like, how do we simulate something that fulfills them from a life? It's like, all right, moving around as a
Flight.
flock, right? Okay, maybe we're not a flock in the outback, but you can come in my car to work every day in Braintree.
Yeah, no,
hang out.
It's actually a really good point. Like oh yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Speaking of cars,
Speaking of cars, this video just proves they love cars. I'm just kidding.
That's from YouTube. Yes.
Oh my God, and look at the aridness of the area.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. Wonder what they saw. So they will eat insects.
it's shiny and blue. They might think there's water there.
Oh, great point.
And
Yeah, they
there's
might have
stuff
thought it
they're
was
eating.
reflective. Like, yeah, that's a really good point. That's so funny.
That is bad
The
news.
other thing that was just another flock image I thought was just amazing. The other thing that I found super interesting, they don't build like a complicated nest of like grasses or, animal hair or things like that. They will, which is why I think so many people get them to lay eggs in captive situations in their little cages, is they'll lay their eggs in like usually the hollows of like a eucalyptus tree, and they'll just lay them. It's like they make their eggs their nests out of dust and dirt that has been left behind. Like basically like they just
in eucalyptus trees?
Yes, they'll
I got to
just-
grow eucalyptus tree
basically.
for these guys. I just
You
got
have
one.
one, yeah.
Do you?
Yeah, I just got that little tree, remember?
Yeah, so they're not like
you a
creating like
big
an
one.
intricately woven nest. Like they're just plopping 4 eggs down on a little pile of dust in a hole, and they're good to go. I mean, they still need to be incubated.
Dr. Mertz
but-
did mention something. I said we found a boy and girl parakeet. He's like, oh, do you want baby parakeets? And I didn't say anything else. So, but then I thought about that, and I was like, he knows something. He says stuff like that. That's
mate.
always what's the word? Foreshadowing in my life.
Yes, yes.
So
Yeah, he's alluding to something in the future.
He
for
knows.
you.
You know what is something that I didn't read about, but you just made me think of something. I've heard that the females can actually be like very aggressive towards their males, and
Yeah.
even like keep them from food, and even maybe harm them. Have you heard of this?
really,
Yeah, so you just got to keep an eye on it so you
Yeah.
know that they're both eating. Make sure you're seeing that they're both pooping.
Yeah,
she totally picks on him
yeah.
all the time. But he kind of has this attitude. He's kind of like whatever. He just
Yeah.
kind of like walks away and he'll push back a little, like go away, stop it. He's very mellow.
And they do form monogamous pairs, so it makes sense that they get highly bonded.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
But
how much do you
she
love this
she
baby?
seems more stressed about. It's funny. She's in charge, but I guess she gets really stressed out when he's not around.
How
Yeah.
do you know that green apple is a he and blueberry is a she?
So we're not experts, but
We said it.
yeah.
You just made it up.
Because we want it to be. We know that you can tell by the right at the top of their beak,
Here, should I show
that
her
nasal
close?
area. If it's blue, it's male, and if it's more of a fleshy color, it's female. Now I will say, hers is almost like a light blue, which had us a little bit confused at first, but it is much lighter. His is much darker than hers.
Do you want to bring him over?
Yeah, hers
Here, I
is
can
almost like a flesh tone.
Oops, sorry,
Oop.
Bubba. Sorry, little guy.
Yeah, you got it.
And this is him.
And his is
Yeah.
much bluer.
So you can kind of, let's put them next to each other maybe. You can kind of get a.
Yeah, but that was a great question. Do
See,
you
I like
agree
the
with
top,
our?
Yeah.
Trying to get a good,
Yeah.
sorry.
Yeah. Oh no, you got it. Yeah. So she's like a fleshed color, and he's a dark blue. So she's the female, we believe.
He's got the dark blue and she's the flesh color.
Feel free to chime in if anyone thinks we got it wrong. We are by no means lifetime parakeet owners.
But they could also both be boys, but the behavior, I think, makes us think otherwise. Is that fair? But
Yeah.
tell us if we're, what do you think, JT?
Yeah, I think you can tell by the color of their nose.
Do you think we got it right? That
Yep.
she's a female. Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
So we got it. Come here, baby. She's a good girl.
And everything I've heard about the behavior of the
Oh,
two,
she's
it's
cute.
pretty standard kind of interaction. So,
Yeah.
yeah, when we found them, we didn't know. I think for a little while we thought they were both boys. We didn't know what was going on. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, we know a little bit more.
And one thing, yeah, keep going though. I know we're gonna get to
No, I
some
was
of the
say,
things
should
I
we
was gonna
jump into
say.
nutrition?
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
wait, hold on. I forgot I threw this in there. That's them in their little eucalyptus hollow, creating a little nest. I'll move my head.
We need to get a eucalyptus hollow.
Oh, hi, Deb.
Oh, nice. The two green ones are blueberry and green apple, who are invisible now.
Blueberry and green apple.
Oh,
Yes.
that's so nice.
It's a good combo.
They're
green and green.
awesome. They're way cooler than I originally realized.
100%, right? Like as our little buds, like when they first came, I kind of, oh, wow. Oh,
Again.
back.
That's okay.
She did
I
say
don't
hi
mind.
though. That was cool. I find like I appreciate them more and more the longer they've been with us. And I had no idea how cool they were and how much they'd become a part of our family, but also how much work, like time they need. Like when I come
Yeah.
down in the morning, as soon as they hear my voice, they start screaming.
Yeah,
like
they
and
do.
this guy actually, who's normally super mellow, he like forces his way through the bars to come out. And
Yeah,
they really want you to just take them out and put them out for the morning. At nighttime, they don't want to interact as much, it seems. But first thing in the morning, they're really psyched to be part of
Yeah.
the party.
Yeah.
In the wild, they'd be up with the sunrise and they want to go
Oh,
out.
yes. Yeah. Okay. Nice. Patrick's bringing over their perch. We might get them closer.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. We can
So
do that.
diet.
Yeah, that way he can zoom in on them. Step up. Step up.
And
Oh, I like that idea. You could do a picture.
in
Yeah.
the wild, they're constantly searching for food, finding
Step
the
up.
nesting spots, migrating,
up. Good
looking
girl.
for water.
Whoop.
So they really
Yeah, we got
Yeah.
I thought that would
need a
happen.
lot of enrichment to just keep themselves busy.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah. Such a great point. All right. So nutrition was our next slide. After that adorable eucalyptus
flip the green screen back,
nesting
Andrew?
hole. Yeah. Now that we've got this second camera, nice.
Sick.
And then, oh, I love that. And we can also move them to a different table if you'd like, Patrick. That's easier. Okay, looks good. All right, and then Andrew, if you want to go to the nutrition slide when you get a second, we can just show a couple of the stuff that they eat. Once we get these cutie pies all framed up. Oh, they're falling asleep.
Bedtime.
is a seed-based diet, usually from native grasses. I put one of the native grasses in Australia that they primarily eat out of up there. They're small and dry and abundant, and you know, if you've ever seen bird seed or parakeet food or millet, you know, it's little seeds like that. They're obviously not cracking walnuts like some of their larger parrot cousins are doing. Then they also, what was I gonna say? Oh, so
they eat
go ahead.
mealworms? Like, should I be feeding them fresh mealworms? Because like I literally brought a bin of them home that we're gonna, you know, put in the chicken coop.
Yeah, so they're considered omnivores because they will eat insect larvae as protein. So although they're primarily herbivores, you just can't see our heads.
Yeah, you can't see us. All you see is
yeah, no worries. And they'll especially eat them during the breeding season for extra protein during chick development, which is really cool. So they will eat larvae, cricket larvae or grasshopper larvae, any other kind of opportunistic bugs and grubs, beetle grubs.
Probably whatever's on the grass.
So should we be feeding them fresh?
Yeah, do you think we could feed them a mealworm or no? Like not tonight, but I guess maybe like in general.
Yeah.
Add one to their food.
If they want one.
See if they'll eat it.
Yeah.
Interesting.
All right, I like that.
They don't seem to want much in the way of fruit. It's from what we've
I know, we
tried,
should be
we've
doing more
tried so
greens.
hard.
Their little pyramid is like seeds, greens, and vegetation, which is why I have like that little spray on there. They eat the leaves of that that plant.
Yeah.
Then fruits and berries is the bottom, like the
Okay.
least, and then insect larvae is the very least.
Yeah, yeah.
So they
Do you want to put the slide up on the back?
do you all feed them like budgie
Okay.
pellets or like the cereal that they make for budgies?
Yes, we've gotten like an organic, high quality budgie food that we feed them, and then we cut them. They don't seem to love apples, but they seem to really like strawberries. We'll give them like a couple little pieces in their tray.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then we give them the cuttlefish bone for calcium.
Yeah, I know a lot of people will just go for a bag of seeds and stuff, and that's really high fat.
Right. Oh, I see what you're
So-
saying.
So you want to go for the specialized budgie diet because
Yep.
it'll be more rounded, so that they won't be more rounded.
I feel, and we
I got
switched
that.
for a period. Oh yeah. Although there's nothing cuter in a borb. Although it can be deceiving, they can be very skinny under their borbish figure.
Yeah.
Borbing is when they blow up
Oh,
and they
nice.
look like a little fluff ball. Usually they're trying to keep warm and nap and stuff, and
It's
all birds do it,
It's
I
a
think, or just about.
combination of bird and orb.
Yes, it's an orb
Yes,
bird. A bird that's an
yes.
orb.
You can tell their body condition by if you feel under their feathers on their. I won't do it to scare them. You'll feel their chest, and there's a bone in the middle. That's their keel, and it should feel just like a regular triangle. It shouldn't be like bowed out or like caved in.
Okay.
It should be pretty straight. So that's their muscle and the fat there.
And not too
Oh.
fat.
If it's bowed out, that's
too much
really
fat.
And if it's concave, it means that they have muscle wasting and they're really skinny, so they need to gain some weight.
Wow.
It's a body condition score.
Really? They have a body
Yes.
condition score. Is it 1 through 9 or
5.
1 through 5? Okay.
Dogs
a
and
cool
cats,
shot.
1 through 9.
Yes. Yeah. Horses also.
Birds, 1 through 5.
Nice. Very, very cool.
Mice, too,
Oh, really?
1 through 5.
Okay.
So, on a day-to-day basis, tell me what their ideal diet should be. Oh, guys, the green screen, that looks sick, but the green screen, just a heads up, is clicked on the iPhone. So, it's like,
Oh, yeah.
making a
Behind
brick
Blueberry is
pattern
half of a
behind.
brick wall.
which if she were ever to turn brown
Which
and
it kinda-
orange,
yeah.
she would be very pretty.
Yeah.
She'd be very pretty with the brick overlay on her
It actually
feather
doesn't
pattern.
look bad. I kind of
It,
like
it kind of looks cool.
Yeah,
Like a
don't even
Minecraft
worry about it.
skin.
I don't
Andrew.
hate it.
I don't hate it either. She looks gorgeous. She looks
It's very
majestic.
artistic.
Yes. It's the yeah.
So is a varied diet is almost like it sounds like because their life in the outback is probably
Seeds is the
changing.
bulk.
It's probably like a
Yes.
ton of seed one day, but then I'm sure there's days where there's tons of bugs, right? Like they're showing up to some sort of like bug hatch, right? Especially if they're in waterways, right? You got to think like bugs, like I know I've learned from my fly fisherman friends, like that will explode very specifically around certain seasons. So I'm
Yeah.
guessing there's like a couple days where all they eat is like one type of bug, you know?
A plague of locusts.
Plague
Yeah.
of locusts is probably
They
an
just go
absolute
crazy.
festival every 10 years or whatever.
Yeah.
Um,
They said that they'll eat the bugs when they happen to be like bugs that are on like the seeds and grasses that they eat. So like I think they land to get those things, and then they're like, oh,
which
I'm gonna have
probably
a
mealworms
couple
would be great.
larvae
Yeah, okay.
out of here.
Yeah, because mealworms eat grain.
I mean, I gotta try feeding
Yeah.
them some mealworms.
Yeah, I mean, clearly
So,
that's the next step.
Cool, cool.
Should we jump into how they're small parrots and how we did not
Yes.
really realize that when we got these
Yeah,
little
and
babies?
they're like really, really What are their closest relatives?
Yeah, I don't know.
ChatGPT.
I
ChatGPT.
read it earlier. and
I knew
it's
you would have.
another,
I thought if I were gonna bet, I would have bet like JT knew this answer. And
I
Yes.
have it up.
I'm actually a little worried that he looks flustered that he already looked it up and doesn't remember.
They're
That's
from-
so unlike him.
They're related to parakeets, and
Okay.
Oh, that's
that makes
probably where
sense.
they got the parakeets
yeah,
name from Budgies.
So
They are true parrots, like macaws and cockatoos and African greys, but
And-
obviously much smaller.
Which is
but
so
they are
cool.
literally
They're little tiny
true
parrots.
parrots.
and fig parrots are their other cousins.
Oh,
Okay, well
the
that
fig parrot.
animal is adorable.
Yeah, it's so
Very, very cute.
I kind of miss the brick overlay.
Yeah, go back to poor Andrew.
No, I'm joking around. What did look cool though. Kind of
We're realizing
artistic.
now.
And this
Yeah,
is
it
what
was good.
lorikeets look like.
Oh, it's amazing. Are they also Australian birds?
Here, show it to
Lorikeets
the-
and
I believe so,
figs?
yeah.
Show it to the camera.
Yeah, show it to, or you can show it. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So because they're
Lorikeet.
parrots, everything else you know about
Yeah, I already
parrots,
said that.
you can know about. Oh, you can see that. Great. Oh, okay.
Cool.
Yeah, little green screen,
Okay.
little
I
mod.
got a text.
So they're oh my.
Hi, Dad.
So they're super, super smart, complex social bonds, you know.
Yeah.
Tell what you were saying about the naming. I thought that was so cool that you were telling
I was
me.
watching. Basically, the parents will have distinct calls for the babies, right?
Yeah.
And the babies will remember those calls. Names, right?
Yeah.
And then we'll go around introducing themselves with those calls.
Really?
So like their parents name them, and they're going around and telling them what their names are when they meet other birds.
Mind blown.
Like we don't
right?
understand the intelligence of other animals, and we just underestimate. And we're like, dumb animal, no idea what it's saying.
Yeah,
you know?
just
can
chirping
see them.
away.
Must be dumb because I
Tell
don't
them apart.
understand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They can tell them apart. Usually, also from the inside of their mouth has a different look. Each baby bird,
Yep.
so the mom can see. Oh, I already fed you. And then
Really?
yeah.
Wow.
They don't know how to count though. So if there's a new one in there, they're
Yeah,
like,
that does mess them up. Those what are the birds that
Birds can't count.
not dodo birds? Which ones?
oh yeah.
Is it that put the egg in there? That's their whole strategy.
Yeah, the
Cowbirds?
I believe so. And,
Yeah.
Is it mockingbirds and cuckoos?
Yeah, literally. Like, don't build a nest. Just find a nest, slip an egg in, and it's usually much larger than the other birds.
Yeah,
and gets
cuckoo
all the
birds, yeah.
food.
Yeah,
Yeah,
cuckoos will
They'll sneak their eggs in.
Kill-
And there'll be like a
kill the other
giant.
one.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Not always good. One thing that when I was like reading up about them that I thought was so interesting is,
Wood ducks do it also.
oh,
Really?
nice.
The ones that nest up in trees?
Yeah.
They like put wood duck eggs in like.
Other nests.
Nice.
Oh, because
And
yeah,
then the
they're
wood
going
ducks,
up
don't
into
the
a
wood ducks
tree.
just fall out of the nest when they're ready?
I think so.
I remember seeing video of that. It was like 100-foot drop or something, just just plummeting to the ground and bouncing.
Yeah,
It
I have
was like
seen that as well.
Yeah,
And it'll be
David
like outside.
Attenborough navigating. It was like bouncing and very cinematic. I wonder if it doesn't always go well. But,
One of the things that I thought was so interesting is like, you'll hear people say like, oh, that bird, parrots don't want to be left alone. But when I was reading about it and then was talking about it from this like emotional standpoint, it's like it's not that they don't want to be left alone. It's that they have the emotional intelligence because of all the things that make them a parrot, because of the flocks and the complex social structures, that they feel loneliness.
Yes.
They feel boredom.
I think it's even more than
They
that. I think
feel
like
depression, and they crave interaction so much that they'll rip their own feathers out of just complete like despair. Like,
yeah.
Oh my
And
God.
I think
You got to be ready for a parrot if you're going to have one.
Yeah, you cannot. You're so true. I can feel it on them, right? I can
Yes.
feel it when I'm not paying attention. I'll come home and I'm like,
Yes.
and lately, me and Mandy were talking about. We're like, look, they need to be part of our flock. They need to move with us. They need to be. We have a very strange flock. It's me, Mandy, Telly, Sunny, and now 2 parakeets coming to work every day.
Yeah.
Can I just do a quick fact check? It's not wood ducks, it's black-headed ducks.
Ah, okay.
Thank you for clarifying, because we would have gotten destroyed in the comments for that.
Yep.
And you're trying to give wood ducks a bad
Oh,
rap.
I really like the wood duck story because it's so high up, and there's like a whole other story.
No, there is a duck that does that.
Okay, there's another duck that still must be plummeting to the ground then.
Yes, yeah, that
cool.
is true. The cool thing though about them that makes them obviously different from their larger parrot cousins is obviously they're not quite as dangerous.
The sound keet.
Oh,
it's just
that
a
makes them
parakeet.
cuter, right? Just the fact that they're called parakeets is adorable.
I loved
Yeah, okay.
Clint's reptile. He said, he was
yeah.
asking are budgies the best reptile pet, and I love this guy, Clint's Reptiles. If you check him out on YouTube, hero, and he made the argument. We were talking about this with the chickens, where he said, you cannot make a reptile clave without including birds if you include crocodiles and lizards, because ultimately crocodiles are birds are more closely related to crocodiles and lizards than crocodiles and lizards are to each other. The birds are between the two of them. So I think they are the coolest reptile ever.
So reptiles is basically like calling something a tree.
Yeah, well, mammal, it split off.
Oh boy, we're about to go down a
Like, for plants,
path that I am about
There's
to get
things
lost
that
on.
are trees,
Yeah.
and they're not necessarily closely related. They could be more closely related to other kinds of plants that are like shrubs or something.
Yeah, tree's almost like a shape. It's like a worm.
Right. So reptile would be.
But
like,
reptile's like a genetic branching. Basically, to think of this though, right? Like that, these guys are more closely related to crocodiles than an iguana is to a crocodile.
yeah.
Oh, that's
That's
a,
a
good way to say
wild
it.
thought.
That is a
Yeah, you
wild
never would've
thought.
thought.
Never would think that. It's very
That's a wild
counterintuitive.
thought,
But then
yeah.
I've heard then there's other is it the crab basically where it's been like that shape just keeps replicating where like crabs are like very, very, very distant relatives. Like crazily
not.
like
The crab
more,
shape keeps
the
replicating.
crab
Yeah,
shape keeps
like
appearing basically.
The idea of crab, pinchers, shell, that kind of shape of animal with the legs like
Yeah.
that each
Shows
stuff-
up in disparate.
Yeah, like basically
things
two
evolved into
animals that were
that
like
because it's
not
perfect.
like two worms
most perfect.
basically slowly evolved to that. You know what I mean? Like separately.
Yes, yes.
Like, they
what
look
makes it
identical.
the most perfect?
It's just.
Are you
they
kidding me?
figure
You
it
ever been-
out.
Have you seen a
They
crab?
can walk
Mic
around
drop.
and bite you.
They eat trash.
Yeah.
They have pinch,
Yeah.
and
They can lose a leg and it's no big deal. They just keep going.
they shed their skin, their shell.
Yep.
But they're little tanks with claws. It's sick.
Yeah, they're little tanks.
Anyways.
Horseshoe crabs have that baby blue blood that's used in pharmaceuticals.
Yep.
But because of that, they also can take severe damage. So like half of a horseshoe crab will like walk up on the beach during mating season and you'd be like, how is that thing going? And it's because of its copper-filled blood.
They're
Really?
very
It's just
resistant to-
really. So that just makes you like
It's really resistant.
Hulkamania.
It's like,
It's very good at fighting off infection.
yeah, it's like pumping antibiotics around your circulation all the time. So they can take like main damage, and other than like it slows them up because they've lost half their body, they're not going down to infection.
And the reason they use it for the pharmaceuticals is you introduce,
Yes.
if you mix whatever drug you have with their blood, it will react if it's contaminated
Yes.
with some sort of bacteria, fungus, or toxin.
And they used to use rabbit farms to see if the vaccines were contaminated because rabbits are very susceptible to bacterial infections. And so if they injected it, parts of the vial into a bunch of rabbits and the rabbits passed away, they're like, well, it's a good thing we didn't put this one on the shelf. And now you have horseshoe crabs and think that doesn't happen anymore. But they don't make it synthetically yet. So they literally harvest it. It's wild.
Hard to make because it's a specific protein with the metal
Yep.
ion, and
Wow.
our body just has the DNA to make it, but it's hard to get something else. Like, how do you synthesize things that, like proteins that we want? We use like a yeast or something, put the genes in there, they produce a bunch of that protein or whatever. Well, this is trying to make a full cell from scratch.
Got it. So it's
and
a
the
cell.
serum.
Got
Yeah,
it.
it's a
Okay.
blood cell. Like we can't produce red blood cells
Yes.
synthetically yet.
That is not a compound. That is
Yeah,
very
you'd have to
complicated.
get a bunch of stem cells and turn those into blood cells.
And it's
How do
baby
you do
blue
that en
in
masse?
color, their blood.
What I can retain from all this is baby blue.
There you go.
Very pretty. I wonder what it tastes like.
Yeah.
Tonight.
Some people know. The last thing I'll say about it is it's
I remember one time I was on a beach and a ton of them just suddenly started coming up on shore.
it's
They were gonna eat
mating.
you.
Yeah, or trying
I thought
to
they were
eat
trying to eat me. I
you
ran
can
away.
actually scoop them up and they won't hurt you
I,
if you ever want to scoop
I
them
remember
up.
doing that at the New
Well,
England
if you
Aquarium
try
once.
hard enough.
Yeah, I remember picking.
You're gonna try hard to get hurt.
Yeah.
The last thing I'll say about it is a wonderful consequence of them being used in pharmaceuticals is they're very, very protected. So it's really helped protect a lot of the oceans.
Thanks,
and stuff where
pharmaceutical
they are.
industry.
But you can't breed them in captivity, so it's really hard. So they have to wild catch them to collect some of their blood. And that
Yes.
can,
I think you can grow them up in ponds, but then you have to release them or something.
We should get back to
Yeah,
Paris.
we should.
yeah.
But I kind of, I kind of
I
like
love
this.
that. You know what? Maybe I'm wrong. You know
No,
what?
I think we should get back
Do you
to
guys like the
parents, but I
casual
thought this was
banter?
interesting.
maybe
Okay,
it's-
we'll
maybe
keep
it's a
going on the
topic
casual
for the
banter. I
future.
wasn't sure if we should bring it back
Our
home.
questions pouring
How
in
do we
on
tie
horseshoe
back? Wait,
crabs.
let's talk. Let's talk. There is going to be a transition back from horseshoe crabs.
Make it happen.
Blueberry,
Blueberry, blue blood, blueberry.
light
Blue
blue,
slides.
Blue.
berry.
Come
Why?
on.
Yeah, okay, this brings us right in. The color baby blue, very unnatural
Oh, look at
normally.
how pretty
Horseshoes
she
and
is. Oh,
blueberry,
she's
the
so
parakeet.
cute.
In nature, they are not blue, right? They're all green, they're wild.
Blue is very hard to produce in nature.
All right, I'm just going further
And
deep.
birds
I like
produce
it.
it by having a protein in their feathers
Oh,
that
boy.
refracts the light. It bends the light to be that rather than it being blue itself. It tricks the light into being blue.
Wow.
Wow. I didn't think that actually was going to work. Talking about blueberry being
So like
blue.
light benders?
They're light benders, just one way.
All right.
Yes. Well, and she's beautiful. All right. Yeah, I kind of like the brick wall. We look like we're like a cool factory
Yeah, we need to
party.
Just
Yeah.
hanging out,
budgies.
couple hipsters. We're gonna go to some like tapas bar afterward.
Tapas.
Yeah, down at the warehouse.
Hey, ladies and
The
gents, welcome to the warehouse.
Soda sopa, bro.
All right, history with humans, and I know you look so excited about this because this is the part where we can do, oh my God, first of all, look at that little cutie. I put a blueberry picture up and then also this white variety because as you saw in the earlier pictures, only the green variety exists in the wild. So every other color morph you've seen is a bred in from humans. So that's why those are on the slide. But you kept giving the facts during the intro. How long have humans been breeding budgies?
150 years, is
Yes,
that correct?
that is correct. Yes, that is
Cool.
correct. In the 1800s, we started doing it.
And so, how different? I think one of the things you want to learn from where their ancestors, their wild ancestors.
Yeah.
But the truth is, these guys they probably reproduced at about a year or two, right? So we're talking, maybe 100 generations deep in captivity.
Yep.
There's a change from their wild ancestors. There's things we can learn, but things that have changed over that time.
And like we've talked about before, these are domesticated.
Yes, they are. They
They're
are
not.
domesticated.
Are they not?
They are not. No, domestication takes thousands of years.
They're on the
But
no.
they reproduce so quickly.
But
I mean, I
no.
think they are on the pathway to domestication. It's a gray area. I would argue I understand, like, because where do you draw that line?
So they're still the same species as wild budgies.
True.
And
But you can say the same thing about
can be
Gallus domestic,
and can be interbred successfully with wild budgies.
as can chickens.
But selective breeding has obviously made like these cosmetic and then some behavioral changes. But I believe, and I'd be down to chat, Jay, we should do like chat challenges where
Yeah.
you're on the challenge. You believe that you two bozos believe they're domesticated.
Yeah, and I'm not.
And I
I'm
am
sorry, but
solidly
Pluto
on the
is a
side.
planet.
I can remember Dr. Graves
kidding.
saying
Anyone watch
this
Rick and Morty?
in
Anyone?
Animal Science 101. Domestication, by definition, is thousands of years. But let's
That doesn't make sense,
battle
though.
it. Let's
Here's why it doesn't make
let
sense to me. Ready?
ChatGPT
Can I
decide.
explain to you why that doesn't
I
make
can't
sense
wait.
to me? It should be how many generations?
All right, that's a good point. But even still, if you're talking thousands of years, but let's see. But I see what you're saying. Some
I think
generations
that
are
either
faster
way,
than
the
others.
point I'm making is domestication is the
Wait,
description.
is that the look of affirmation or the look of defeat?
The question that
What
matters,
pursed
right?
lip
You're
look is
talking
that?
about what we're talking about. We're arguing about putting a label on it, right? But at the end of the day, they're genetically different. and
they're
then they're
not-
wild counterparts.
They are not.
Could you release these guys out into the wild?
No, they wouldn't survive. It says right here.
Does that mean they're domesticated?
It means they're genetically altered to the point where they're no longer capable of being wild.
All right, this is a very interesting discussion.
They wouldn't, if you tried to release Blueberry.
I'm softening on my point. That was a good counter argument.
I think that's why they've been bred for the conditions of living with people, right? Like,
yeah.
And it's a gray area, right? It's just a really gray area. And
Yeah.
I agree, like, even like bearded dragons, right? They look drastically different than their wild counterparts, right? Nice.
So compared,
I kind of like that.
I like it too. Compared, I thought this was interesting, to other parrot species that have been bred in captivity for shorter periods of or less intensely, budgies show more visible variety. You know what I mean? Like African greys, they're all gray.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But what's their like reproductive?
But not necessarily more genetic diversity.
And they've also,
Like 80 years.
I feel like with African greys,
Can you
there's
just
so
look up
few
the
of them that people are just
definition of
like, they
domestication? I feel like
reproduce.
something's happening here is having you split hairs, which is why you won't give your conclusion.
Oh no, it says they're generally considered to be domesticated birds. But later
Nice
it says
one.
budgies bred in captivity are not considered wild animals, so they're not.
Okay, right.
Also, it says
These are human
not
constructs.
truly domesticated. They can be tamed. Budgies have undergone the long-term selective breeding to be considered fully domesticated. So they're on their way. They're
Okay,
almost
but
there.
but are not considered fully domesticated. Very
But that's-
interesting language there.
and
Very
their sources
something
for
to
that
ponder.
Are Reddit and Cure.
I think we reviewed this.
Oh, good. It's
I
Reddit.
never-
Reddit said it. It
I,
is.
I would
Not a
never disagree.
scientific paper,
Point
but
being is
Texas
that out of
A&M.
any animal besides
No, I
like
know what you're
domesticated over thousands of years, as
Yeah.
far as any pet is concerned, there is no that I can think of deeper like genetic
Yeah.
modification from its wild counterpart,
Yeah.
right? Like they
No,
are.
I'm with you. I get your point.
And it's cool, right? Like
totally get your
I think
point.
the importance of it is right. Like I don't think if we had a wild budgie, they would be doing as well in this situation.
Yep. Yeah. I think.
Oh, Jeff asked
are the
a question.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Are the blue ones genetic mutations that put them at a disadvantage, or are blue ones only hatched in captivity due to selective breeding? I'm thinking like those British moths during the Industrial Revolution.
Oh yeah.
Oh, high school.
Yes. Tell them what that. So that's the moths that were.
I wasn't paying
were
attention.
black survived the
That's
Industrial
right.
Revolution because as things got coated in, got coated in black, the white moths were standing out as they landed on the sooty-covered trees and were getting picked off. But the black moths, and Jeff, feel free to jump in if this isn't the story you're referencing. The black moths blended in, and thus the population of black moths, which was previously a rare genetic morph, then became the dominant genetic morph.
I think the same thing's seen with squirrels sometimes, right?
And yeah, like the black squirrels and the
Start emerging
albino ones.
post like bad forest fire.
I have a current example of this if we
Yeah?
want to go on a tangent, but JT
think
was going to say something.
Basically, the blue morph just lost the yellow pigment.
Cool.
Yeah, so it is something that's been selectively bred in captivity, but I think JT is wondering, could it show up in the outback, but it would get hunted off for some reason?
Or just isn't necessarily like a dominant trait, like missing that yellow pigment
Right.
doesn't necessarily
It's never going to show up dominantly, even
Yeah,
if it
just-
exists, yeah.
like albinos.
Is it a recessive trait? Is blue are blue like if
I
those
think
have
they just-
babies, will the babies be green? Probably.
Maybe.
Or does could it,
I don't know. I'm just guessing.
Right.
I think it's basically the blue ones just don't have the yellow. See
you're
how
guessing that or
they-
know that?
That's my guess because
We should check that. Let's fact check this bad boy.
Yellow, blue ones don't. That's my guess. But
right.
also Texas A&M says that they're domesticated.
Yeah.
Reddit says they're
Thanks,
not,
Texas.
so. All right, wait, if we want to go on a tangent, I can talk about a real life example
Yes.
of the soot-based moths. So
30-second tangent
Okay, I'll be
starts now.
very quick. They've been studying crickets that make, those beautiful summer songs by rubbing their legs together in, I think it's a part of Hawaii. And suddenly it has gone silent. And they can see them rubbing their legs together and there's no sound. And they're like, what is happening?
Oh, they just don't have the right microphone.
There's not, that's the punchline. No, I'm just kidding. No, what happened was There is, I can't remember if it's a worm that is a fungus, but they called it a worm. I'm going to call it a worm because it's the shape.
Yep.
Would listen for the sounds. Introduced species into Hawaii, obviously, unfortunately.
Yep.
Would listen for the sounds and the vibrations of the crickets and then lay eggs on the backs of those crickets and kill them off. And now, for the first time, they're hearing this very new sound that's like this. It sounds completely different when you hear it in real life. And it is the slim parts of the population that had this messed
They're going
up
to need that in the pet industry.
sound. Yes, and then
If
now
you've ever
that's
lost a
what's gonna
cricket in
let
your
this
home, JT
species
knows what-
survive because the worms can't.
Yeah.
Don't pick up on it as a food source.
So yeah, so because that's basically the ones that
Well, they have
that
like a
made lesser
new-
and lesser noise were the ones that got selected for. I mean, if you've ever had that could be a huge thing. Like, I remember when I was in college, I had leopard geckos and had crickets, and they got loose apparently, and my neighbors in other dorms were not thrilled about choot 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 in their rooms. They knew whose was. I was like, that cricket could have come from anywhere in your room. They kept you up all night. So
The blue variation of birds of the budgies lack the yellow pigmentation.
Oh, we got a comment. It is. You were right. You got it. But don't forget, when the cold stopped, the moths changed back.
Yep.
Jeff.
Here's another example similar
story.
with rattlesnakes, right? There's a problem because people kill the rattle is meant to warn people stay away, but it's what gets them killed with humans. Because people are like, there's a rattlesnake, that's a problem, I'm going to kill it. And they're slowly evolving to rattle-less, which makes them way more dangerous because they're not
'Cause no
warning
warning.
people. And they're just going to bite instead.
And
That
They're-
is a
so,
mimic it.
so rattling puts them at a disadvantage. I think the same thing in Australia, the red male kangaroos were being
yes.
hunted to the point where the size has decreased significantly.
Yes. Yes.
So-
Trophy hunted. Yes.
Yeah, because of trophy hunting. So
Amazing.
interesting what we can do.
All right, should we move on to the next?
Yeah.
All right, cages. Oh, I just wanted to show the color morphs. That's why those are up there.
Oh, they're so cute.
Oh my God, look at all the different colors. Oh. Oh, I guess not cages.
I missed them. Come over here, guys.
Budgie relationships.
okay,
Oh, wait,
yeah,
yes,
yeah.
we got a video.
Uh-oh.
Oh,
Yes. This was when I was first connecting with them, getting them. Oh, and you can tell they're a little older now. They've gotten bigger.
oh my God. they're so
I said that to me, and I was like, I don't know if I should post it. I think I got like more thumbs downs than thumbs ups on that one, so not everyone loved it. It wasn't a popular one, but I sent it.
You ever feel like you're not alone?
Look at those little guys.
Oh, I
You ever
love
feel like
that.
you're not alone?
And for a while, it was always like, Blueberry's feisty, and Lucy didn't like that we were calling her feisty. And I was like,
You
look,
ever
she's
feel like you're
feisty.
not
I
alone?
respect it. I like it. I don't like her any less, but she is very feisty, but
ever-
cute and sweet.
I missed a slide, which Andrew just put up, which was the human relationship. I thought it was that the cages one next, but it is the human relationship one next. Yay,
Yeah.
yay, look at those little kitty pies. All right, so this one was fun to research, really just to like, it really is just all the things you think about. They can recognize individual people, they form emotional bonds, they can mimic human speech. Andrew, did you find that video of Disco saying horribly adorable things? He says like, I'm not a criminal, I am a budgie. He's so cute. He says 130 different phrases and
Yeah.
he's fantastic. And they're like very complex long sentences.
Yeah.
It's really good. Oh yeah, what was your factoid? That they have the most phrases of any parrot?
Yeah, the
Unbelievable.
largest vocabulary.
Ours don't say anything.
Yeah, that was nuts.
Well, it's this one specific one.
Well, and that kind of almost relates. Like one of the things, I don't know, I don't want to skip ahead.
No, go
are we
ahead.
freeform or are there more slides?
Freeform.
Or?
We have more slides, but this is.
I was going to mention like
we're talking about
one of the
crickets.
things we've been talking about. There's two of them, and that changes things, right?
Oh, yeah, we do have that,
Mandy,
but yes,
Mandy's
let's
brought
talk
up a
about
bunch.
that.
Like you'll see a bird that can talk a lot, and typically it's a one bird family, and so it bonds more. That being said, there's two of them here, and that can be a really double-edged sword.
Yeah.
Because while the other one might fill in socially, I don't think it replaces a flock, but it makes it a little harder to interact with them. Nice
Yeah.
Disco. And also, you have to worry if anything ever happens to one, if they are not part of a broader flock, the other one usually doesn't last much longer. Like, I can't tell you, I've heard a number of stories where someone said, I had two, one died, and the other one died 2 weeks later.
Yeah.
So I think there's something to be said about and it's interesting. I think it's funny. These two, as much as blueberry really depends on green apple. Green apple seems to like a break once in a while. So I'll just take green apple out, hang out. He seems to almost enjoy a moment. Blueberry starts freaking out and screaming, and then I'll go get her.
Yeah, she
But
does.
when it's the other way around, it doesn't seem to upset him as much.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I think you're absolutely right.
I don't know.
No, yeah, and so I think the drive for them to make sure they form social bonds with us isn't necessarily as strong as a bird that lives alone, who's like, my weird human flock, I've got to figure them out. Whereas these two are like, look, it's us, and then there's these people that hold us.
But
we're working on that, but it is a little bit more challenging.
It is, but I think that might be an excuse. I'm not saying
No,
because
no, I know what you
when you
mean.
see them, they aren't ever just in a pair. It doesn't seem like
You're
in the
absolutely
wild.
right.
But again, that's in the wild, right?
Yeah.
And we've established they've been domesticated.
Yeah.
A little, kind of, and so
But
maybe
so
they are more okay being in one or two or smaller groups. Maybe that's one of the things we've bred for. I don't know.
That's a good point.
So they get stressed if they're alone too much because they want to have a flock. They want
Yes.
to have interactions, enrichment, stuff to do, someone to talk to, someone to be with.
Yep.
A lot of parrots you see, they're alone. They don't have another parrot.
Ugh.
But they're like flock animals, so they usually try to partner with their human.
Right.
And usually they'll pick one and
Right.
guard it or be okay with the other people, but have a favorite. But having the birds partnered and then still being part of your flock
Yes.
and interacting a lot is
The best.
good because
It's probably the healthiest, right?
Yeah.
yeah,
Yes.
because they have other friends to rely on if one of them passes away.
Yep.
But they're not alone when
They're
you're
never
not there.
alone, which they shouldn't be, because
In-
in the
in-
wild they'd never be
In
alone.
nature, are
I'm
they
so with you.
monogamous? Or they?
Yes.
So think about that, right? Like you're seeing these 100,000 bird flocks.
Yep.
And within that, there's monogamous pairs, right? And so if we could simulate that to the best of our abilities, where it's like you two are a pair, which is beautiful, but you're part of our flock.
Yeah.
So hey, flock, we're moving, we're going somewhere. Let's go do it. Let's go eat. Let's
Yeah.
chill. That's what they, I think, really want as a pair.
yeah.
Even. I think this could be. I think being a pair with a broader human flock could be pretty ideal.
Like, would you want to only ever interact with just Mandy and the kids? No other humans around, just alone.
This is a real
And
trap.
it's in a
JT.
room.
JT,
In a
Yeah,
room.
you just in your house.
this could be
Yeah.
a real trap.
The answer is yes.
Yes.
No, just kidding.
Yes.
One of my favorite quotes was, Budgies' moods, health, and behavior often reflect the quality of their care and relationship. A well-socialized, loved budgie is vocal, playful, and vibrant.
Yeah.
And it's like, I mean, they literally get depressed. So it's
You can
like,
feel it on
yeah,
them. You
it's
can
like
feel it on
want
them when
to
they're
be
feeling good, like
happy.
they're liking coming around with us.
Yeah.
And so we brought them to work yesterday for the second time. We did one intro once where I brought them for like an hour. I wasn't
we
sure
did
how
a
well they'd fare.
soft, yeah.
Yesterday they spent the entire day from 10:30 to 6:30 with us, and they seemed to really be happy.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
do great. So, yeah.
Should we talk about cages? Speaking of
Yeah. Do you have a
people with
slide?
budgies, I mean, I just have an old school cage
Sick.
on a slide,
Let's
which is
pull it
just
up.
sad because
Let's see.
this is literally what people used to put them in, like the Tweety bird cages. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that's what I found and was like, oh yeah, this is a good one.
Yes.
You know what I mean? You have it like hanging on a bar. It's
Yeah.
just the saddest thing in the world.
I
So most store-bought cages are too small. And actually, I found this really interesting. They said that the cages should be more length, horizontal, so they can practice
Do you
flying.
want to put a video of us two on that? Or-
Oh yeah, that's a good point before we jump into it. Versus tall.
Yeah.
Like because they're not
Sick.
a huge macaw, although I would argue a huge macaw should be in a room.
Yeah,
But they need to fly. You want them to have the ability to fly in their cage. So if you've got a very tall cage, you're not really helping them. I mean, yes, you're helping. They can go up and down, and they are foragers. They eat off the ground. You know, that's what they're used to doing. So we could even maybe try putting their food on the ground if we wanted to get them just to go up and down for
Yeah.
exercise. But a long cage is actually the best because they could practice flying from place to place,
Cool.
which I thought was really interesting.
The thing is, we were talking about cages, right? And we were like talking about building a giant
Yeah.
enclosure for them in here. But then I started realizing that ultimately separates us from them.
Yeah.
And so just having them in here openly like is wonderful on our shoulders. That being said, when I'm not in the room, if I have to leave, I want to be able to put them somewhere because there are a lot of dangers in here, especially
Yep,
like if they were
open
full of
water
a fish tank. They're
sources,
little guys, you
electrical
know,
sockets,
electrical,
whatever.
even
Yeah.
mirrors. Just you know, they could get into trouble. So that balance, and we've talked a bit about like, should we be, you know, clipping wings? Should we be?
That's on here too, which we can definitely jump to.
You know, oh, I'm sorry. I'll let you
No,
keep
don't
going.
be.
Keep
No,
pushing.
no. I'm saying it's important to your
yeah.
point.
Oh.
But yeah, we can kind of move it along. Just basically, their cages shouldn't be barren. You should move their toys around. They should have lots of interaction, and they should not live in the cages. They should come out of their cages often. They should have lots of interaction, lots of time with their people, lots of time in new places. Like they should not just be sitting in a cage even if it has a bell in it.
I hate their wings. They're
Yes.
getting their flight back. I want them to fly. I have to imagine, we talk about their diets, physiology, health.
Yeah.
Like it's got to be so,
Oh
that
my
is a
God, look how
major
cute
part of
he
their
is.
physiology. And like if they're not getting flying in,
Well,
what does that do to them physically,
with
mentally,
you.
and emotionally?
It depends on if they were learned to fly from when they were like when they.
All right, tell me more about
Yeah.
that because we talk a lot about clipping wings.
There's debate about wing clipping.
Yeah.
So, they basically
That's actually the
when
next
they're
one.
young they have to learn how to fly. It's most birds. They have to learn how to fly when they're young, and
They
build up
can't if
those
they're older?
muscles. Yeah, or otherwise they won't be able to. So
Really?
if they know how to fly, clipping their wings might be upsetting to them. But so you can clip them to different lengths and allow for a certain amount of flight. So they're not like gonna fly off into a tree or something like that away from you. They can maybe fly all the way across the room and get up away from the dogs or whatever, away from the kids if they want to. But if you don't want them to be able to get up to the ceiling,
That's my fear.
you can trim a little bit and see how far they can go.
Green Apple was flying earlier in the night before it was so late, and he could make it about
Across the room.
25 feet straight and then slowly down, but not up high, which is great because we don't want to get lost in the ceiling.
Yeah, and they need I'm sorry, I didn't mean to.
Yeah, she's very.
The primary
she didn't like
feathers,
that.
or the ones that are like basically their fingers, are the ones that allow them to fly up. So you only really need to trim those ones.
So
a
like
little
this
bit.
one wing, this one long feather on her hair, would you clip that? Maybe.
If you want
If
her
you
to be able
needed
to
it.
fly more,
Yeah.
I would leave it. But those are the ones that you clip if you want to trim them.
Do you know of anyone? I obviously watched some YouTube videos, but do you know of anyone who has them flighted that if they got out of their house, they could call them to them?
Not that I know of.
Yeah. Why? Is it hard to teach them to come like that?
Yeah, I'm guessing that they just want to go off and do whatever, and
Yeah.
then they get lost. They don't know how to get back or something.
These guys
Yeah,
tend to
you're right.
stick close.
Yeah, because
but
they do
we-
want to be in there.
They always come back. Right, but I would.
If they had the whole world, would they get lost? Yeah.
There's certainly not a point where I'd be like, yeah, I trust that they'll come back.
No.
They're
think we
getting
can
there.
get there.
I mean, when they get down the ground, when they get in trouble, even when, remember the first time, like when Blueberry started flying, she got nervous and then flew to me and landed on me. I was like, shocked.
They definitely fly. I don't know if they learned as babies, but they definitely fly short distances very well.
Well, so something I do know, I know of many stories and people that have had parrots and stuff that were their pet for a long time, that it got away one time and then never came back. And they never,
Well,
don't know where
when
it
we
went.
were trying to find their parents, just in case someone had lost them, the amount of parrots on Lost Parrots of New England, to your point, was stories like, I had, Silly for 15 years and I left the front door open and he's gonzaroni. There's a lot of them. Like, that's it. They're gone.
And I mean, bigger parrots would stand a chance fighting off like a predator if
Right,
another
yeah.
bird, but probably don't know very well how to find food. They've never had to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they won't survive the winter here.
Right. We found them in December. They
Yeah.
weren't going to be out there for another hour.
I'll be honest,
or so.
I would miss them too. I'd be heartbroken.
They're
And
your
you'd wonder
baby.
what
I'd worry about them. I just worry about them.
Yeah.
I would just be so worried about them.
They're
little guys.
Endotherms, heat producing.
Mm-hmm.
With food. Yeah. So they need to eat regularly to keep their
Or
body heat up.
Ecto.
Is it ecto or endo? What did I mess that? Did I mess that up?
I don't know.
We should know.
Yeah, I know. I messed that up. I thought it was endo. Is it ecto? Is ecto heat? Okay, no one's weighing in. Just me. Oh, that's a little budgie in a cage.
Oh yeah, let's just Ecto would be out,
Is it endotherms?
but it's
Heat
producing
producing.
inside endotherm. I think it's an endotherm.
Oh, okay. Did
produces
I say
heat.
ecto?
No, you were right. I think you were right.
Yeah, endotherm is can
Because
produce their own
ectotherm
heat.
gets the heat from external.
Okay, yeah. All right. Well, roll the footage. Did I say endotherm? I'm just kidding.
Yes. Delete the footage if it's wrong.
All right. Should we move on to communication?
Yes.
Yay.
What are they saying? Like what? I think the thing we were talking about. Sorry, I don't mean to.
No.
What
this is
are they
good.
saying? What are they?
Oh wait. Look at them drinking in the wild.
And
How cute they are.
they didn't like the baths you tried to give them.
No.
I wasn't there
Apparently
for
they need like water
We saw this
baths.
video of this one parakeet just
Bird baths. Yeah.
put
they
its
won't
head
take it back.
underwater, having a blast, and we tried it. No.
I mean, I did it I just gave them a little Tupperware with water in it, and they looked at me like, no. But I will keep trying, obviously.
Yeah, I think once they figure out what it is, they might have fun in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you asked what they were saying, and Blueberry's speaking in Latin.
Oh, she doesn't speak English.
Yeah.
I don't know if she's summoning.
She's an old world
Oh,
bird.
yeah. Do you want to put these guys, put the little guys on? So are they, when they are like chirping sometimes, I don't know if you can see it right now. He sometimes, watch this, ready? Hey, buddy. So he'll start chattering his little mouth. Sometimes when he says hi, he's a little nervous, but I'll go near him and start chattering to him, and no sound comes out. Now, I was talking to JT about, I was like, is he producing sounds that I can't hear? You have a bat monitor that we got to bring into these guys and see if they're making sounds that are high frequencies beyond our hearing.
Well, it also says that the little beak chirping can
Yeah.
obviously be a territorial warning, which we know Blueberry was giving me when I thought she was being sweet, but she actually was about to bite me and then she bit me.
Yep.
Or it can show that there's like
Cutie.
comfort and relaxation and
You can tell which
trust.
one it is, too.
Exactly. And he does a lot of like, he'll sit on your shoulder and his little beak will go and you
Yeah.
can get your face close to him and then she'll do it and you're like, oh, is she
And she'll get that little
like me?
square
She'll-
head.
She'll bite me.
And it's like ruffled up. And he's just like this sweet little guy. And
love
but then you
you.
were mentioning the other thing that I thought was
Yeah.
really important to consider is like what they don't communicate, right? Like we as humans
Yes.
would assume they'd be able to communicate certain things, but they don't, like pain, right? Like you were saying.
Yeah, so when I worked at the Wildlife
It's
Center.
important to be aware of this because you need to know what they won't tell you.
Yes, and you'll obviously know this too. It's like so intuitive when you have like a cat or a dog. If they get hurt, you open the door and it catches their paw.
yelp.
They yelp or they cry out as a
Make
cat.
a crazy cat noise.
You wouldn't do this, but if a bird gets hurt or if you were to pinch a bird's foot with a tweezer by accident or something, silence. That is their evolution. Is they've evolved to become very, very stoic.
They're
and
dinosaurs, and
they're
dinosaurs are ruthless.
dinosaurs. Yeah, they're ruthless. And so unless you have a close relationship with your bird, it can be hard to pick up where a dog is wanting to go out or barking at because they want to move a predator off. It's subtle. It's the clacking of a beak, and is that clacking aggression or is it comfort? Like, you really have to learn these animals. And oftentimes in a veterinarian situation, people will bring their birds in late when they've been sick for a while because they're very good at hiding it.
And do you know why they have to hide it?
Let's
Why?
hear it.
So if you're a predator and you see a flock of birds, which one are you going to go after?
The limpy guy
Yeah, the one that's
Oh.
and the one that's squawking.
squawking or sickly or not moving
Right,
very well.
right,
or
right.
Yeah,
Not acting like
limping.
the others.
Yes, yes. So one of the signs that they're not
That's
feeling well
interesting.
is they'll fluff up, and it's to conserve body heat and to not get cold as fast. And so people will be like, oh, something's up with my bird. It looks just really fluffy on its perch. And usually by that time, they've been sick for a hot second, and the stress of bringing them to the vet can sometimes be it.
I worked for
great
a
shot.
veterinarian that would see exotic pets. Birds were always a fascinating challenge. And the owners always had these very deep connections to
Yeah.
their birds, the good ones, you know,
Yeah.
the good bird owners. I guess usually ones who would bring one to a vet were good ones.
Yeah.
And I would always be, the amount of time they would
sorry,
tell me
Grandpa.
about spending with those birds.
Yeah.
Like if you care about the bird, you realize at least I've come to realize I was like, I need to put time in with these guys for their well-being. Yeah.
And do you become neurotic because you put so much focus into it that because you want it to be you want to be the perfect owner, or do the neurotic people sort of tend towards that?
Right.
Yeah, are we bird people now?
Right. Did we become bird
boy.
people when we got
Bird
budgies,
people
or
are a
were
certain
we always
category.
bird people who've just found their first birds?
Yeah, chickens.
You've wanted birds
Oh,
forever, Mandy.
shoot.
You've wanted birds forever.
You know what the thing is? I really believe.
You always wanted a parrot, and we got you.
Yes,
They flew.
I
and-
really believe in you have to keep an animal in a life that is as close to the way that they want to live as possible. And so I never bought a parrot or rescued a parrot because I wanted it to be able to fly. So we're on a mission to figure out how to get these guys zooming around without getting lost. So
Yeah.
we'll figure it out.
We will, and
Flight
I
cage.
think just a
Yeah.
flight cage.
Yeah, like the wildlife centers,
Yeah, but
the L-shaped one.
I was thinking we were talking
can you
about
ever
building
catch
one.
them out of there? How do you get them? No, right?
The,
How do you get the wild
problem
birds
is
out?
like I
open
think
the
that
door.
then we're no longer interacting with them, right? And so I think like more than
But then
Just-
you charge kids to hold a little cup of seeds.
Oh, yeah, that is how the
Ah,
Franklin
like at the
Bird Zoo does it.
zoo.
Yeah,
That's right.
$5.
The lollipop.
That's right. That's right.
That
$5.
works well.
Those two would pay for it.
Those two would pay. Yeah, we could probably get money from our own kids.
My kids would pay. Yeah,
It would pay for their food.
it would pay for the
That's a
birds' food.
really good
The
point.
kids would pay for it with their allowance.
And their friends would be like, do you want to have a play date? Make sure they bring money.
Oh,
Bring cash. 'Cause
Yeah.
we can't get food out of the machine if they don't.
Yeah,
crazy!
sorry.
It's like $20 per popsicle.
All
I mean, look
right.
how cute that guy is.
What do we have
You
for
don't
our
want to give him
next
a seed popsicle?
Should we jump into our activity or should we wrap up the slides?
Yeah, let's wrap up the slides.
Okay,
Let's,
all
let's,
right.
we got some more, right?
Yeah, we do have a couple more. Andrew, what do we have for it? One bird versus two. Look at that little baby on screen. Oh my gosh, so cute.
So I think we talked about, and to me,
Yeah.
like the summary, like to me is like, I think we're in a good spot where we got these two birds that are a pair, but that doesn't mean we don't need to be their flock.
That's exactly
Is that the
right.
summary?
Yep.
We still need to be their
Yes.
broader flock.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. They need us.
Yep.
And they need us to to really spend time with them.
What about three birds? What would happen? Would they just leave them out?
Oh, I
think
don't
it depends
know.
on the sex.
Okay.
Yeah, tell me more.
Because you said that females are more aggressive.
Yeah, could we put another pair in?
Probably another pair.
Just like
I don't know
if we're
one-
gonna do it, we need a dozen more parakeets.
Yeah. Well,
So you're
yeah.
saying we should rescue 24 more, 2 dozen more.
Yeah, that way, if they get bored with being friends with each other, like the pairs don't want to hang out with each other anymore,
Yeah.
they can go find another pair to hang out with.
Right, right. They can go on a different double date.
Yeah, so they can talk about the other one.
I like it. That sounds amazing. All right, well, we'll keep it to 2 for now, but it does feel like there's 2 dozen more in our future to rescue.
Absolutely.
All right, so our plan, and we're open to ideas here, but I think we're gonna keep bringing them to the warehouse or the garden shop, like garden warehouse. And
We need to get something set up for them minimally that like, if I'm here alone, I gotta put them somewhere where they're safe if I'm walking
Yeah.
out back.
Yep.
They can't be left unattended.
And I think for the time being, we want to keep their wings short so that they can fly 20 or 30 feet out, but not up.
Yep.
I want them to be able to get up a little bit. You have dogs.
A
you have
little bit,
kids.
yes.
I want to try
yeah.
to parakeet proof this room if that's possible. Might not
Yeah,
be.
flying up into the fish tank would be bad, so maybe
Right.
not that high.
Got to get it just right.
Yep.
And then a cage that is longer versus taller so that they can fly to the other perches versus
Yeah.
that crawling with their beak they don't need to be doing all the time.
Yeah. We just continue to.
And then I want to try putting I didn't see anyone doing this, but I want to try putting their food on the ground. That's where they eat.
Cool. Well,
just to see.
even better, we're going to be growing their food.
Yeah.
Is that the transition? Actually?
Yeah,
Or
that would
should
be.
we wait
Oh
for-
yeah, let's transition with that.
Is there any more slides or?
No, our plan was the last slide.
So next, I mean, what we're going to wrap up with, unless I was going to mention, do we want to show a couple basic training moves about to get started?
Yeah.
Some of the basics around working with them. Should we go over there and do it with the spray
Yeah,
mail and
let's
stuff?
go over there with
All
the
right,
mail. We'll
let's
see.
show
I
you
know
guys. Ready?
they're snoozing,
We're
but
gonna
maybe they'll. Here, I'll keep them on here, and then we'll see if
You
they'll
want
let
to
me.
switch to the iPhone? Cool.
Oh. Oh, look at these little angels.
All right.
Gosh, they're so cute.
So, and they don't love this spray millet.
They
so
like
this
the
is
one in
spray
here.
millet or foxtail millet. It's the same stuff. I got this
Oh.
new batch, and for whatever reason, they're not as excited about it as the stuff I'd bought the previous time.
Yeah, you're right.
I don't know.
What's it smell? I don't know what.
I don't know if the other one they were getting has like sugar on it,
Okay, let's see. So
but this is definitely a great way.
you can see how
here.
excited they are.
So this was how I kind of, when we first got them, they were very nervous. And the way I found, and this worked super well, was I just put a thing of spray millet on a plate. Oh, here, you want to go there too?
Yeah.
And so you can
Step
see.
up. Oh,
So-
here's a trick we taught them. Well, a
So
trick,
in every
a behavior.
5 minutes, I would walk over. So just to show you guys, I would basically bring this over and feed them and then go back. Because what I noticed was when I would approach them, they would get nervous. And so I was like, I want to change that response. I don't want them to be nervous when I'm walking around. So I literally would just put this guy on a plate like this and then walk over every 5 minutes, every time I went by. And then by the end of the day, they were already like, oh, this guy's bringing goods. So this was my
Yeah.
training trick. And just basically breaking their association of being nervous with me when they saw me into something positive. And that gave me the chance to really start just hanging out with them without them being nervous, looking at me as a positive thing. And yeah, long story short, this stuff. And so I want to try growing this stuff tonight too, but you know, we'll keep going with this. Oh. Wait.
Right there.
Oh, sorry.
I didn't know where I was supposed to be standing.
Yeah.
And
We're working on it.
apparently that stunned me into silence. Look, Matt, so this one is slightly different. That's why I grabbed it.
It is.
See the difference? And look at, they're going to town.
Which one do they like better?
The thin one. So every
smell it. Let me
time,
see.
yeah, it smells delicious.
Maybe these ones are kind of like wobbly. So
Oh, look, yeah, because you took it.
Wow.
She's crazy. Oh, you know what though? But that's actually a really good point. That's how you start to teach them to fly.
The downside
you.
is this stuff definitely creates a mess.
I think this one's just too wobbly.
Too wobbly.
Come on. Hey, come on. Well, the leaning makes you feel like you want her to do it, so now she's not going to do it. Just
Oh, I
come
love
on.
you
Here she
too,
comes.
Blair.
She's going to come. She's not going to let Green Apple have all this. Come on.
She might.
She's thinking about it. Oh, that's not the stuff you want.
Isn't it
That's
though?
not even the good
Isn't
stuff.
it the good stuff?
Maybe
it's
it is.
good
Maybe
enough.
they don't even care. Oh my God, listen to their little chomping. They love spray millet. Do you want to tell them what we're going to do with this?
Yes. So we got these two trays. So spray millet.
Oh,
I was like, you know what?
let
This is
me
a
have
garden
this
store. We should be growing their food, and I'm sure it's gonna be fresh. I'm excited. I'm gonna harvest and dry it. Just to get started, though, I was like, where do you get the seeds? This whole thing's a giant stack of seeds. Joking.
I want to buy
But,
some seeds for this.
So the plants take about 2 to 3 months, basically, to get to maturity. They grow shallow roots, about 4 to 6 inches from where I was reading, get to 2 to 4 feet tall. So I figured I was just gonna do these 2 trays filled. Keep it really simple. We got some pot and soil right here.
And they're just an annual, right, Matt?
Yeah, so I think what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna fill this up. JT, if you wanna fill the other guy up too, or we can do one at a time. I don't know. Figured I'd do 2 of them. Sorry. Do we still want to do training before I do this? I wasn't sure.
No, this is great.
All right, cool.
I don't, whatever you.
Yeah. So I'm just gonna fill this up with some shallow soil. And honestly, I'm just gonna break up. And JT, I'd love to see how you do yours, you know, if you do the same method as I go for, but I'm just gonna basically fill this in.
Good.
Pat down, get that looking nice and smooth. This is pretty dry. A little more. I think I'm just gonna do a pretty thin cover. Feels like it's something that would kind of be shallow, you know, shallow planting.
I have a confession.
Yeah?
I've grown this before indoors.
How'd it go?
It went well.
Yeah?
I grew it
What
in
were
the,
you growing it for? What animal?
I was just growing it in general.
Where'd you grow it?
The wildlife center in the turtle enclosure.
Oh,
'Cause
cool.
those were the seeds I had for free
Yeah?
because they were at the wildlife center.
I mean, the seeds, I'm just going to literally take an entire one of these, I think, and just kind of break it up in here. And just really overseed it. I wonder if the sprouts too, like they can eat greens. I'm going to look into whether the, when they first sprout, if like the sprouts are safe for them to eat. I imagine they will be, but
You know,
we're
it's
definitely gonna
said that
check.
the leafy greens they usually eat are from like the grasses.
That's usually the
of
case.
course, which is also the bugs they eat,
Like
or
it's
like
pretty rare that like
larvae
something
climbing
with
on the grasses. Yeah.
seed producing, like sometimes things that produce fruits to leaves aren't safe to eat, but usually grasses with seeds, So that was my hunch, but I'm gonna look into it. But anyways, I'm gonna seriously overseed this, and then I'll just thin it out once it gets a little bigger, or maybe I'll even like take chunks of it out and transplant in the yard. Play it by ear. So I'm gonna just mix it into that top, and look at that. This is gonna be great. I can't wait. Is it? I think this could be the most excited I've been about growing something new in a while. It's always exciting when you haven't grown something before and you're like, oh my gosh, I haven't grown this, and my birds are gonna get to eat it. I imagine if it's like 2 to 4 feet tall. I can see that. I'm hoping I get to see them, landing on it and just eating right off the stalk. Would it be called the stalk? I said, I got that. Yep. I like what you're doing, Mandy.
I knew what was up.
You knew what was up.
I knew what was
Yeah, bro.
next. You know I love to mist with my pump sprayer.
Well, this could be all right. Let's.
Are we ready?
Yeah. Oh boy. Here, let me give this. Because be careful, because you don't want to get the. Let's.
Wait, what don't you want to get?
Well, I don't want to get
actually-
the
the
bird seed.
seed. Yeah, good idea.
What's going on with this? It's pretty jammed. Getting this going just to get it a little wet. It feels.
You know what else?
I might actually. Because we did this, I'm going to cover it with another layer of soil. I might actually just do a straight water in.
Straight up. You want me to get you a watering can?
I might
Oh,
go
you got one.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
grab some from this res.
This is for you guys.
My bunny really likes millet as well.
Oh.
Because I think that initial moisture might help, but I'm just going to kind of do a light.
Oh, the grass would probably be good for the guinea pigs too.
Oh my
yeah,
gosh,
that's a
yes.
great point. Yeah,
That's a great point. The guinea pigs have been.
Just slowly kind of water
Going
it.
crazy
And I'm going to
this
cover it with
spring.
another layer that we can then. Oh, this is leaking out, I think. So slowly kind of get it watering. Try to just get it to hold. You can see how hydrophobic the soil is. It was really dry. So it's going to take a sec to kind of pick it up. Now I just kind of, you can see the water's just sitting at the surface. That's okay. Try to get it to be muddy. Yeah, I like playing in the mud. As an adult. Look how, wow, that stuff's really not getting wet. Come on. Okay. So you can see, and this is the danger about using really dry soil sometimes. Imagine if I covered it, I wouldn't necessarily know if anything was wet right under the surface. So I'm kind of making this mush right here of this top layer with the seeds mixed in, nice and wet, caked. I think this will work well. Yeah, JT. Okay, so clean my hands off in this dirty pond water. And I'm gonna wait a little after doing this, like another 15 minutes, and I'm gonna do another watering in.
Blueberry is
sure.
very interested in what you're doing.
Hi, Blueberry.
Yes.
Growing you lunch. You're gonna love this.
He's like, why'd you just bury all those seeds? I like those.
Sorry, sweetie. Don't worry. It's gonna pay off. It's gonna pay off. Promise. Well, I think it will. Hope it will.
Good boy.
All right. I mean, look at that sludge. So I'm gonna let that kind of wick up and soak. And then I'm gonna do some more water and then put a thin layer of soil on top of that. And I think that should go well. We'll find out. It feels like I put enough seeds in there that something will take. I would be very surprised if we don't have some good germination.
Are you going to
here.
move it outside or keep it inside? What are you thinking?
I think I'm gonna go outside.
Yeah, feels right.
You put it on the outside steps.
Yeah.
Wanna see one outside, one inside?
Yeah.
Drink
Sorry.
the mud. Drink the mud.
Smells good. Smells
We found
earthy.
these two cuties on the side of the road
Yeah, it does smell good.
about
Yeah.
2 months ago,
Yes.
and they
All
were
right.
real nervous
Cool,
around
guys.
people
Should we
initially.
wrap up?
But the way to their hearts,
I think so.
like most animals,
Yeah,
including
I don't
myself,
think we
is
missed
through their stomach,
anything.
and they love.
Oh, we get a video.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I love this
That was
video.
early. That was early on. That was a while back. I'm not sure if we're
Let's do it.
but yeah. Well, look at that. And that's their milk.
Perfect.
Sick. That
Yes,
was cool.
perfect.
And so, all right, well, guys, that's all we have tonight. Thank you so much. Oh, they're really enjoying being with you. Hi, sweetheart. From all of us here at Garden, Live from the Lab fam, happy Father's Day, and thank you so much. Next week, it is summer solstice. We're almost a week away from the longest day of the entire year, and we're going to do a special next week. We're going to talk about what that means as a gardener, what that means with plants, and look forward to joining next week. And until then, thank you, everyone.
Bye, everybody.